Hello everyone and welcome back this week for the Q&A video. This is probably the video that I'm one of the most excited for in quite a while. That's because you guys asked me plenty of good questions, and pretty much if you ask me a question, it's going to get answered. And if you don't see a question of yours, then A, I cut it out because I thought it was like too niche or personal, or no offense, just like a bad question, or somebody else asked pretty much the exact same question as you, but like in maybe just a little more clear way, or I just saw it first. But it will be answered. It will be answered. Trust me. Everyone that commented did have an answer, or will have an answer after this video. So without ado, let's get started with our first questioner at Averick19. And here are their questions, and I'll be listing them on screen as we go. Their first question is, what is my favorite gem in the game, and what is my least favorite gem in the game? I would answer that by saying that my favorite gem in the game is probably Magic House's 5th gem. It's the one in Magic House that has a lot of diagonal tiles to the right and left. I think that one's really fun. And, I mean, that was a really hard one. I have a lot of good gem placements. And this was answered before the release of Zone 22 even. Or, like, I had a response. Like, I thought about this response before Zone 22. So, I mean, I don't even know if Sunset Towards Tombs or Zone 22 or Cattail has better gems. But that would be my answer there. My least favorite gem is Clown Park 8th gem. It's the one that everyone hates in that level. We all know why. Obviously, up next, they asked, what is the best crown in the game and the worst crown in the game for me? My answer to this question, for the best crown, would actually be the C's 3rd crown. I don't know why, I've just always liked this crown. It's very simple, just jump, avoid an obstacle, and then do like a double diagonal tile. But the way it just builds up and like right into that ending section, it just works so good in my opinion. That is by far my favorite crown in the game, just due to its simplistic nature. And then my least favorite crown in the game is obviously the Basketball's 3rd crown. We all know why, because we all want to destroy the level. They next asked what the best year for Rolling Sky was, and what the worst year Rolling Sky was. I'm assuming worst year means not including the hiatus years, so 2021 and 2022, so I'm not going to count them. And my answer to worst year would be 2018. Because we had, up until my updates to F tier, almost the entirety of F tier was just 2018 levels. Early 2019 as well. You have some good levels in there, like Faded and all of its remixes and all of that, but then you have horrible levels like both of the Christmas ones. Halloween Night, Happy Birthday and Anniversary aren't really that good. So yeah, I mean, it's just not really a good end of the year, especially. And then the best year I'd say is 2025. Granted, it is really recent, but over half of the S tier is from 2025, or over half of 2025 is in the S tier, which is actually insane. That just shows how good the devs have gotten with their levels. And 2026 is also really starting off strong. I don't even have a single level from 2026 that is not in the S tier above. So 2025 for sure, best year. They next asked what other mobile games I played, if any, and I do play other mobile games. I recently been getting into like Mario Kart Tour again. I mean, sure they shut it down, but I mean, I was definitely obsessed with that back when it was running. But most of the time, you'll catch me playing Brawl Stars. I have a lot of trophies, like 90k, and I love the game. Sometimes I'll play Clash, but I'm more of a Brawl guy. That's where you see all my other content coming from. On my channel, there's a few. I still dabble with some Dancing Line, even though it got discontinued recently. But yeah, those are probably, like, Brawl Stars would probably be my number one answer. Okay, the next question is a little spicy one. Could Chess Fortress ever be dethroned? Yes. Chess Fortress absolutely could get dethroned. The thing with that is it would have to be a level with an insane theme that connects to me on like a personal level. Like if it had anything to do with music, but is like much better than Melodic Metropolis, it could legitimately dethrone Chess Fortress. If there's anything about like drums and all of that, that would likely dethrone it. But other than that, it's going to be really hard to do so. Alright, their next question is, what level could be good with a better route? This might be like an easy way out of this question, but Polar Night Wandering V2. We all know how it got ruined with that route. And I mean, like, no hate towards the router of the new one. It was a really sticky situation. It was rushed, I get it. But I mean, it's just not that good. If they had put at least a little bit more time into the routing, I feel like it could be a better level than it currently is. Another level that I would like have in my mind would be like maybe Lost City, and being less reliant on RNG. And then their last question is, do other creators change my mind about opinions? And my answer to that question is no. I stand firm on my opinions. I don't let other people change my mind. There's times where, to appease the community, I'll put like Competition Park a tier higher than I think it actually is. I have done that in the past. However, it has not significantly, like, I've changed it back. And at that point, like, at this point, I don't do that anymore. So thank you, Averick, for those questions. And let's move on to our next questioner. Alright, our next questioner is at Ostan. Sorry, it might be Austin. I don't know. Their first question is, how old am I? And I am 17 years old. So there you guys go. I have been playing Rolling Sky since I was 7. And yeah, it's been a long journey. I can't believe I've never said that on camera before, but yeah, I'm 17. Their next question is, do I play Geometry Dash? And I do. So then they asked, if so, what is the hardest level that you've beaten? And the hardest normal level that I've beaten is, I've beaten a bunch of medium demons. That's as hard as I go. I've beaten a bunch of them in the gauntlets. I forget which one. Pretty much, if there's a medium gauntlet in the, or a medium demon in the gauntlets, I've beaten it. Platformer wise, I have beaten Throat of the World, which that took me 6 hours, and I almost lost the entire save box. My phone almost died, so that's a long story. But yeah, I did beat Throat of the World. It was a journey. Their last two questions are about video ideas. One was, can I make a video comparing Alone 2 and the basketball? And I will, just not in the near future. Think late 2026. Maybe it's like a summer special video, because I'll be pumping out those weekly summer special videos again for you guys, because those really did well last summer. And then also they asked when I was going to rank every single Rolling Sky level, and I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to do that, but I'm just going to say it'll be out sooner than you think. Take that as you guys will. Maybe just a little clue on something. Our next set of questions comes from @nil+1. And their first question is, will I ever do a face reveal? And my answer to that question is yes. But when? I'm not sure yet. I don't know when I'll do it. I will 100% do a face reveal before I am done with YouTube. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think I'll ever really truly be done with YouTube, but once I'm done with a certain era of my channel, I will probably be doing a face reveal at some point, so look forward to that in the coming years probably. Their next question asked me, what's my favorite unique mechanic in Rolling Sky? And my answer to that would probably be the Garoth eyes. You might be saying, well, they're the Cthulhu eyes. No, Cthulhu only used them in Garoth's theme. So in my opinion, that means they belong to Garoth. And I don't know, it's just like the way Garoth used them, specifically Garoth, not Cthulhu, because Cthulhu did it fine, but Garoth literally centered the whole level around it, and I love how they did it. So that's probably the favorite mechanic I've ever seen used in a level, so congratulations to Garoth for getting that award from me. Their next question is pretty simple, and I'm not going to elaborate on this one quite much. Do I think there will be an 11th anniversary celebration? Yeah, I do. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. Although I think this year is going to be more about the lead up to the 100th main level in the game. The next question asks about the lifespan of this game. How much longer do I think this game will keep updating? My hope is for a long time, but realistically I'd say 2 to 5 years. When you have a game that has over 240 levels, I don't know how much content you can continue to make. With this upcoming update, with the old forest coming back and Square Root kind of essentially saying that he's leaving, or they're leaving, I honestly don't know what's next for the lifespan of the game. It's a little ominous for me, but I hope for at least 2 years minimum. The next two questions I'm going to combine together because they're similar. Do we need more skins? Yes, we do. The last skin we got was Beach Party Rock in 2024. We need some more skins. And then their other question. Should Rolling Sky get a level editor? I'm actually going to say no. And here's why. Quite frankly, I think a level editor would make the game so much more confusing. And we have Rollercraft, which does have a level editor. I don't think mainline Rolling Sky actually needs a level editor, and I feel like that could lead to a lot of issues in the main game. So I'm actually going to err on the side of caution and actually say no to that. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, though. Their next question was asked before we found out about Cattail. Should co-creation continue? And honestly, I say no. I think they should add like a 3rd anniversary level, keep doing only anniversary levels, and just stop the release of other co-creation levels. We've already seen the controversy that some of them can have. They've led to some of the creations of some of the worst levels ever. Sure, they've led to the creation of some of the best, like Sunshine Ocean. However, the bad outweighs the good here. And I think it's good that we ended off on a high note with Cattail, a pretty solid S tier level, and just leave it on a high note. Sure, we could do a 3rd anniversary and all of that, but quite frankly, I'm not all for the continuation. And then their last question was, which era is better, Cheetah Mobile or Minimax? And I'd have to say Minimax, just due to the sheer fact that, I mean, in comparison to Cheetah Mobile, Minimax has just made so many more levels that it's kind of impossible for me not to pick Minimax, especially when their levels are just really good. Thank you, Neil+1, for your questions. On to the next one. Alright, our next questioner, you know him, you love him, at Legendary Racing. They asked a little more personal questions to begin with, and I'm totally fine with that. I'd love for you guys to get to know me a little bit more. They first asked, what do I like to do? So, a pretty general question. I have 4 answers for y'all. So, I like to play drums. That's my instrument, for sure. It's definitely my passion. It's what I want to do in life. I love to film for y'all, honestly. I love editing. I love just talking to an audience, honestly. I love public speaking. So, I mean, yeah, that's kind of why. I also love to watch Survivor, if you guys know that show. Goated show. Love it. Absolutely peak. Definitely want to be on the show one day. It'd be so peak. And then lastly, I'm into a lot of geography stuff. I'm really good with countries, capitals, flags, and all that. So yeah, those are my 4 hobbies, I'd say. I probably have a few more, but those are definitely the biggest ones for sure. They next asked, what is my favorite food? Spaghetti. And when is my birthday? December 10th. I've made some birthday posts before, so there you guys go. Their next question is, why do I not like circus? Here's why. I've never really been a big fan of the concept of circus. I don't know. I never really liked it. I think the decoration is quite mid. It's also one of those 2018 levels that is just really bad in my opinion. And to add on to that, I think the soundtrack is just not good. I've never really vibed with it. Quite frankly, I've never really been a fan of the crowns either. I just haven't been a fan of anything. The only good thing it has going for it is the skin, but I would never include that in a level ranking. So yeah, that's kind of why. That's my answer there. The next question is, what is my favorite sport? And this is going to be really ironic. Basketball. I know I talk about destroying the basketball all the time, but in all honesty, I played basketball for almost a decade, and I stopped in high school, but like, that it was by far my favorite sport. So yeah, basketball for sure, even though it's a little ironic. Okay, their last question is really good. I really love this question. Why did I start the Deeper Dive series? So, this was the series that kind of got my entire YouTube channel, like, boosted to where it is today. And the reason I did this series is because there's certain levels in the game, like Digital Matrix, that no one talks about. So I want to, like, give every single level a time in the limelight. Like, who the hell cares about Sunny? I don't know, like, it's no one's favorite level as far as I know. So let's talk about it. Let's give it its time in the spotlight. And like, just talk about it, you know? That's what I wanted to do. I'd never seen creators do anything like that for Rolling Sky. And I just thought it was a very innovative idea, and I was just very, like, excited to do it. I had inspiration, and I'm very glad that I did it, because it led me to this spot. Alright, up next, we have at Icy Anniversaries questions. Alright, so the next question is, what concepts do I have for a level? Here are a few, just to list them. Like, a pizza theme level, maybe Earth, a saxophone / jazz theme level, that'd be cool, that would probably dethrone Chess Fortress. A hotel theme level, or if they could do this, an Alan Walker Dark Side level. Those would be really cool in my opinion. Their next question is, what is the most disappointing level of all time? I would say Love E, but in all honesty, I was never actually looking forward to the level anyway. So I'm actually going to say Palace Ruins, because that level had a really good soundtrack. I voted for it, but the routes really let me down. And it honestly became one of the most mediocre levels of 2025, and to do that in 2025 means that you're one of the worst levels of the year. Which it was. It's like bottom 10 just because of that flaw. And that's just my opinion, but personally, I'm not a Palace Ruins fan. I'm sorry. Their last question is, what's next for my channel? And that's like a hard one. I don't really even have like a good answer written down for this. I guess I'd just say, like, a lot more special videos. I have the new updated dive series. A few of them are filmed. I'm not going to release them until a little later, until I can milk when I'm really busy in my schedule. I'm really busy February, guys. Excuse me. But, yeah, I really don't know. I don't see my content really changing too much. Better editing. I've been editing a lot better now. I know I have a great editing software at this point, Velo. I'm literally using it on this video as we speak. So, yeah, I guess that's what's next for my channel. Thank you, IC Anniversary, for your questions. Up next, with like a million questions, the man, the myth, the legend, at Mr. Pro Bro. Let's answer all your questions right now. The first two questions are, one, what level did I overrate the most? Lively Spirits. And two, what soundtracks did I overrate the most? I'll get there in a second. Lively Spirits was A tier for me on release, and a lot of people are like, what the hell are you doing? This is F tier. And I'm like, I don't know. And it slowly got to F tier throughout the years. Not because of the pedophilic soundtrack. That's an outside of the game issue. I've talked about this a lot. But mostly because the routing is just bland. And quite frankly, I have to go with the community on this one. It's just not a good level. I realized that way too late. Soundtrack's overrated? I'd say Successful Person for sure. When it was first released, then I immediately caught on. Crescent Moonbeam, which is still a good soundtrack, but definitely overrated. Beach Party Rock, for sure. And, Fireworks. Yeah, fireworks. Their next question was, which level has grown on me the most since release? And on first glance, you'd think that it might say Fission. And while yes, that has grown on me quite a lot since release, my answer here would actually be Industrial Base. Because I initially thought this level was a C tier level, pretty bad. I did not like the soundtrack. But not only has the soundtrack grown on me, but the level itself actually has. And I really can't explain it, but it's definitely low A tier at this point. And it will probably move higher in the next update when I rework or when I do a bunch of tier changes. Why did I start moving a bunch of levels into lower tiers? A, the tier rework just kind of hit levels like that. But B, somebody commented this recently too, but more about like S tier. Like if you have too many levels in S tier, it diminishes the value. Same thing with the bottom. If you don't have enough levels in the bottom tier, it diminishes the value of the bottom tier. And like, I feel like my tier list just wasn't well spread out. There were too many levels in S tier. There was way too many levels in A tier. There wasn't enough levels in like D tier and C tier. So I had to shift everything down quite a bit. And it just led to an entire rework because everything was just really unbalanced. And I'm actually very happy with where it is now. It's like more traditional tier list. Simple question up next. Which composer would I like to see more of? F777, TDX, and Zoftel. By far the best 3 composers in the game. Maybe Hookington as well. This is kind of a generic question, but what would I like to see happen in RS? Well, first of all, I would actually like to see all of the EDM levels, including Alone 2, back into the game. Now, why do I want Alone 2 back into the game? Because it makes filming so much easier for me. I don't have to find a random video online. I could just go into the level and crash it myself. It would actually be really nice. Also, a basketball weekly match, duh. So we could just do it. And Poor Night Wandering V1, and this was actually, I responded to this question in my spreadsheet before this was released officially. Forest V1 to be brought back, and it actually is being brought back in the next update. So we're already a good chunk of the way there. The next 2 questions are pretty similar, or 3 questions are pretty similar. First, I will start off with, do I think Bouncing City has good routing? My answer to that is no. And that is personally just my opinion. I have not been a fan of it ever. I know it's a pretty popular level, but that is just me. And which level has the best deco, and which level has the worst deco? As for best deco, I still stand by the fact that I think Polar Night Wandering and Polar Exploration have the best deco in the game. And Alone 2, Venus, and Lost City have the worst deco in the game. Mostly because I'm just not a fan of the technology stuff. It's just so basic, and I'm just not a fan of it, quite frankly. Thank you, Mr. Provo, for all of your questions listed here. Next commenter is Masters Aid Productions, and their first question is, why did I lose entrance in Lively Spirits? Now, this is actually a good question, because I realized that it was just kind of repetitive and boring, and route-wise, it's probably one of the worst in the game. Yeah, quite frankly, I'm just not happy with how it turned out. Their next question was, why was the Illusion Circle moved down quite a lot in my tier list? And I don't really have much to say about this. It's just purely because the gameplay is very boring, but it does still have a very good soundtrack, I will very much say. Their question after this was, if Alone 2 was brought back, would I turn the volume off? Yes, duh. And then right after that, they asked me to rank Happy and Pipeline on the 6-star list, and it's looking like they'll be moved there pretty soon. In my opinion, Happy would be the easiest 6-star. Quite frankly, I don't even think it is. And then Pipeline would probably be right above Halloween Night. I think that's pretty much where they belong. Pipeline is very hard to perfect, whereas I feel like Happy is honestly not that hard to perfect. I think Competition Park is more of a 6-star than Happy, but that's just me. Their next question to me was, will I always mention them when I mention Vision? And duh. Masters Aid, you are the #1 Fission Glazer. Of course I'm gonna mention you.
There are last two questions for me. The first one is, in my opinion, why do I think that Time Memory is actually easier than Trailblaze, and Trailblaze is the hardest level in the game? And for me, I would actually say the diagonal tiles are just harder for me, and Trailblaze has a lot more of that. Trailblaze has moving tiles, diagonal tiles, a lot of stuff that is not something that I'm good with, whereas with Time Memory, the first 30% is really easy, and quite frankly, I think the rest of the level is really easy. The only hard part's like 70 to 90%. So yeah, I mean, I think Trailblaze is more consistently harder as well, which is why I think that. And then their last question is, what would I do if people are talking crap about my P tier levels? And I would just be annoyed. People can have their opinions, I guess, but yeah, it should just be annoying. Alright, thank you, Master Zaid. Our next commenter is the official Jake Stan 101, and their first question to me is, what is the first level that I ever played? And pretty simple, the first level I played was the first level ever released into the game, Massive, because I'm a day one player. Next, they asked me what my favorite video I ever made was, and I gotta say, I really love the commenter videos, because it's a great way to interact with the audience, and it was just insanely fun to make and edit. It's honestly just fun seeing everyone that got an award comment on the video too, and people that didn't, like, dang, I'm gonna try harder for next year, because that will be an annual thing now. Very excited, and I very much love that video. It was such a good idea. Their last two questions are, A, what is my favorite soundtrack in the game right now? Spoiler alerts, if you haven't watched any of my top 10 soundtrack or top 25 soundtrack video, Magic House is my favorite. And how often do I disagree with Declan Hugo? It's probably around 50% of the time, maybe 55% of the time. It's close to a 50-50, because there's definitely some stuff that I disagree with him on, but there's also stuff that I very much agree with him on, so fair. Thank you for your questions. The next three questions are from @man with a lot of N's, and their first question is, what is my favorite subject in school? A core subject, it would be social studies, but like in general, like even electives, counting those, it would definitely be my music electives. I always have a ton of fun in those. The next question is what my favorite color is. That would be light blue. I love the color light blue. And their last question is a trolley problem. If I don't pull the lever, it's going to kill 10 lobsters, but if I do, it's only going to kill 1 cat. I would actually opt to kill the 10 lobsters, because I think lobsters are just uglier than cats, and I love cats. Sorry to y'all lobster lovers. The next two questions come from bonus75 Delusion Circle QB or something like that. Sorry. And their first question is, what is the best level of 2025 with mystery boxes? Motive Feast, banger level. The boxes are awesome. And what is the worst? Cthulhu. I think all the boxes in Cthulhu suck, and it's a main reason as to why I put the level so low on the tier list. In general, I hate levels with horrible mystery boxes. The next questioner is Yoink X Vision. They only had one question, and it was, why is Chess Fortress better than Time Memory? And I was considering putting Time Memory as first place in the game, but Chess Fortress is something I have a real life interest in, and I feel like it just barely got the edge because of that. Similarly, our next questioner, Bacon the Speedrunner, only had one question, and it was just, will I ever do non-RS content? Yeah, I'd love to branch out. That could get me more subscribers, and I'll still do real life guy stuff, obviously. Y'all just need to tell me what you want me to do, and preferably on a mobile console for right now until I figure out what I want to do otherwise. Yeah, just tell me what y'all want, and I'll do it. Or I'll always try it out to see if it makes a good video idea and if it gets good views, you know? The next commenter is HasQW. His first question is, do I like his profile picture? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. And Now he wants the explanation of my profile picture, and this is not a question that I get a lot, so I'm actually very excited to explain this. Okay, so back when I was probably 11 or 12, so a long time ago, I was at this church camp, and we were preaching love and all of this, and my family comes from Balkan descent, specifically Serbia, and I wanted to like take pride in that. So in my thing I said love Serbs, and then I made fun of like other Balkan nations in the picture because I thought it'd be funny. And I just really liked the picture, so when I created this channel when I was like 12, I was like, oh, this is funny, ha ha ha. And yeah, that's basically when it was born. Funny story about my profile picture, I guess. Alright, the next question is, do I think Wilderness Aftertaste should be a 1-star? Yes, I think it should be. Did I find the secret gem in Lost City? I also did. And also they wanted to know, which fan-made level do I think should have come after Earthcore Adventures if they kept releasing fan-mades? My answer would be Magic House from Rolling, or not Magic House, Magic Cube from Rolling Fan-Made. Either that or Mirror Cube, one of the two, because both are insanely good levels that are definitely both S tier on a ranking. They are really good levels. I like Mirror Cube more personally, so I guess that would be my answer, but I like both of them pretty equally. Their next question was, how do I feel after reading this comic session? I actually felt pretty good. I think we had some really good questions here, and I'm very excited for this video to come out so people can know more about me. And then lastly, they asked, for a real life thing, how much snow did I get last year, and how much did I expect? Last year I actually expected to get a lot more snow than we actually did. We barely got any. I don't think we even got a single snow day. And this year I expected very little, and we've gotten a lot. So, kind of funny. This is like the first white Christmas I've had in God knows how long, living in the Midwest. The next questioner is Axis Art, and their first question is, which deeper dive is the most outdated? Probably Lively Spirits, because it used to be A tier, and in the deeper dive it was. And at this point it's fallen all the way down to F tier, that I think it's very inaccurate. Same thing goes for Industrial Age, which was B tier at the time of its deeper dive and is also now F tier. This is a question that a lot of people are waiting for. Which two levels on the tier list are furthest away from each other? And the answer to this is actually Industrial Age in F tier and Furnace in A tier. That might sound insane, but I actually really like Furnace. I don't understand the hate. Their next two questions are fairly similar. The first one being, what is a level I used to like, but don't really like that much anymore? My answer to that question is probably going to be out of very left field for a lot of people. Falling Blossoms is a level I used to put in S tier, sorry, not F tier. And I really enjoyed it. I just really liked the music, I really loved the gameplay, and I was just a huge fan of the level. Now I think it's just kind of C tier-ish. It's so boring. It's the soundtrack's okay. I don't really know why I liked it so much initially, but it's really fallen off. And the second question is the exact opposite. Which level I did not like initially and do like now? My answer to that question is Knit Kingdom. I think Knit Kingdom is a level I put in D tier upon release because I really hated the third crown route. But that was the only thing I was really holding against the level, and otherwise the level is a pretty fun one to play, quite honestly. So yeah, Knit Kingdom is definitely a much better level than where I initially placed it. Do I think that Lively Spirits soundtrack will be changed by Minimax? No. Quite frankly, no, I don't. It's a lot of work to do that, and I just don't think that they'd put in the effort to do it. The next question is, which soundtrack and artist do I want to see come into the game? I want to see some Kygo songs go into the game with actual words, kind of similar to the Alan Walker events, like Stargazing is my most wanted. Because I feel like that'd just be a really fun event to bring back to the game. Granted, it would be limited time, but at this point, I feel like a lot of people would be able to keep their levels, and maybe they would even be able to do it in some way where like they'd be able to keep the level in the game. I think it'd be pretty cool. Their next question is, would I work for Minimax? My answer would be no. While I do love video game developing and editing, I would, quite frankly, not find that fun as a job. We've had a lot of issues with Minimax in the past, like Kevin. I feel like it would just be hard to work with. I'd rather go into a different career path, something more musical-wise. So I guess if they wanted me to conduct a song for the game, I would. So yeah, that's my answer there. Do I think that Rolling Sky will return to the Google Play Store?
My answer is I actually really don't know. I really hope they do. They said for the 10th anniversary they were going to really push for it. It hasn't happened yet, so I don't know what will happen, but I really hope that they do. The last question is, which bonus am I looking forward to the most? At the time they asked this, my answer was Zone 22. At the time right now, I would say Sunset Sword Tombs bonus. But yeah, at the time Zone 22, I was very looking forward to it, and I was like, it blew my expectations out of the water. Is such a good level it is. At this point in time, it has actually moved up to my 5th favorite level in the game. Top 5 in the game. I know, it's kind of crazy. And yeah, that's just how good it was. Our next questioner is at Sushi the. Yeah, that's their name. And their one of two questions is, what is my favorite obstacle in Rolling Sky? And this was one that I really had to think through. Obviously, it was going to be in Chess Fortress. And it was actually really close between Poor Night Wandering's penguins and one obstacle in specific from Chess Fortress, but my answer would ultimately be the sword flying obstacle because I think it just looks really sick.
Their other question to me is, have I ever ridden a roller coaster? And yes, I have. I actually live an hour away, only an hour away, probably less, from a Six Flags. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I love roller coasters. Definitely not afraid of going on them. Our last questioner of this video is Yuvon Games World, and they had a few questions for me. The first being, what is my deck in Clash Royale? And I'll tell you, it is Evo Inferno Dragon, Evo Witch, Boss Bandit, I know, sorry, Fireball, Mini P.E.K.K.A, Skeleton Army, and what are the other two? I'm doing this like off the top of my head. Sometimes I use Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A as well, just so you guys know. Oh yeah, Hog Rider and Battle Ram are my other two. So yeah, that's my Clash deck. Their second question is, who is my favorite fan? And I have to say Mr. Probro, just because he was one of my first, and we also have so many fun times in comments, and he has pretty good questions for me often and holds me accountable on my tier list changes. And the last question of this video is, how did I find RS? And I think this is a fitting question to end it on, even though it was first in my spreadsheet asked by him. I think this is a good one to end on. I found this game when I was at a friend's house. He was much older than me. He's probably like 27 now, like 10 years older than me. And he was playing on his phone, and he was scrolling through the Google Play, and he's like, oh yeah, this game just came out today. And it was Rolling Sky. It was January 20th in 2016. It was kind of crazy. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I like kind of stole his iPad, rip. But I got hooked fast, and I was good too. Like, I managed to perfect the first 4 levels. I did not perfect Volcano. I didn't figure out how to do that for a long time. But I was good with 1 stars to 3 stars. I could 100% them quite easily. And I had a blast. And I realized, wow, this is just a really fun game. I want to become more invested in this in the future. So yeah, that is how we got where we are today. Thank you guys for watching this video. Sorry about the shaky gameplay. This video was edited several times. Same software. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next update video.